Listen to this. New this morning, 2,500 paratroopers, part of the 82nd Airborne, they fight wars, those guys, deployed to Kuwait. And that's on top of the hundreds of Marines already on the ground in Syria. Joining us now, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. Allen, this looks to me like a full-court press. We're going to go and knock out ISIS. They're only 80 miles away, and American troops are going to do it. What say you?
Well, it's good to be with you, Stuart, and yes, it does seem that way. And having been assigned at Fort Bragg back in my 22 years of military service, what we see coming together is more of a strike operation than really an occupation type of force. And the fact that we have the Marines of the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, we have a contingent from the 75th Ranger Regiment, and now we have paratroopers from the 82nd, means that we're going to quickly strike ISIS. We're going to keep the pressure on them with the artillery systems that they have deployed, cannon and also rocket systems, so that they do not have the ability to reposition. We can keep them suppressed, and if they try to come out and attack our forces that are surrounding and isolating Raqqa, it's very simple. They'll be pounded to death. So I think this is a good move, and Donald Trump is showing he is focused on economic growth. He is also showing that he's focused on defeating ISIS in place.
But it will be an you go into the country, you fight ISIS, you knock them out, and then, I'm reading between the lines, you leave, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is not about nation building. This is not about sticking around and building roads and schools and whatever. This is about focusing on the enemy, which is how we should be looking to fight Islamic jihadism. The number one strategic imperative that we have to have is to deny this enemy sanctuary. And if we can rebuild our military capability and capacity so that we can do these simultaneous deep insertion operations in Libya and Syria and Nigeria, wherever this enemy tries to establish itself, then we will be able to take it down and truly defeat this global Islamic jihadist movement.
Alan, I heard this morning that it was January the 12th, 8 days before he left office, that President Obama allowed NSA distributed to 16 other intelligence units, and he did it just before he left office. I'm making the assumption that that made leaking much easier because far more people knew what to leak. Am I going on the right path here?
No, that's not an assumption. It's a valid assertion that you just brought forward. And why would the President of the United States of America, 8 days from leaving office, take such an action? This just goes to the fact that we do have this rear guard that is occupying positions in the Trump administration, Obama holdovers, that are conducting, subversive actions. They are not assisting the peaceful transition of governance in the United States of America. And this is borderline treasonous, what we see happening.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's borderline, Alan. I don't think it is. If you release secret information and you're a member of the government and you do that kind of thing, that's treason, flat out. I mean, it's a very strong word, but I think it's technically accurate.
It is technically accurate, and it does fit this situation. And again, you just have to ask, what is the motivation for doing such things 8 days before you leave an office?
I can't imagine why that was done. I simply can't imagine it. Allen West, you're all right. And we always appreciate you being on the show, albeit briefly.
My pleasure.
Thanks very much, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Now...